continuing on with the rear transmission, which is very important to do, and it's very easy to do. After this new gear is put in, then the only other gear that has to be put in that's different is the smaller secondary gear. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 thrust washers. 2 of them, or excuse me, 3 of those are stainless and 1 is Teflon. And those just fit in. I'll show you. Now, this is our engine case right here. And this is the only blind bearing that's in here. And what happens is that either this right here goes in there, or it may go in there. I can't remember. I'm not sure. But anyway, if you ever want to take this bearing out, it's about 1 inch wide, you need a blind bearing puller. You can get them from eBay or a few other places. They're pretty easy to get. So what we have is our, I think what I've done here is, yeah, this is the gear that came with it. They came with the new spindle here. This is the old one. This is the racing one I got from VT, and this too. Now we want to keep everything nice and clean, because this was another point that was made to me. There is no oil exit, not an exit hole, but a drain hole in this. In a lot of these older bikes, they only had one ingress and egress hole, as we'd say in physics, which is right here. Now, this does a couple of things. When this is undone, you have to fill up as much oil, which will come up to about, I don't know, right here. And when the oil starts to come out of that little hole, then you know you have enough. And to empty it, the best way to empty the oil from your transmission, to change it, is to take all of your bolts loose, and you have a really neat gasket. It's just you have to get the gasket. It's really weird looking. But you take a little bit of a screwdriver down here and you pry that edge up right down here, and you put a little bowl underneath, and all your oil comes out. You tighten your screws back up, your bolts, and you put some more oil in it. Now, here's the first start of what we're going to do here. I've used a little bit of 2-stroke oil, and you can use any ratio gears you want. I think there's, as I understand, there's 7 or 8 different ratios, but that I'm not sure on. I've just used the ones that I like, and I'm trying to build a motor to make the motor go faster rather than have the gears change it. So we have all of this nice and clean. This is your bearing for your drive shaft. This is a seal for it. Behind that is your bearing that your drive shaft goes through, that goes through your brake and connects to your rear wheel, and you put that big ass nut on the wheel. So this is the correct order in order to build the transmission correctly, and it's very, very simple. It's good to either take pictures when you take them off, or to get yourself that little tiny Honda book right there. It'll tell you everything you need to know. And what we have is, you're going to get your oil to come up to about right here, and if there's too much oil, and you want to make sure that these areas are clean down here, and do the same thing with your Q-tips, because you don't want any leaks or anything else. The leaks aren't that important, but as long as you're going to do the job, you know, do it right. Don't do a Mickey Mouse job. Mickey Mouse is what we Americans call half-ass, Kmart, Walmart, total bullshit. Just take the time and Build it like you're a German Porsche worker or something. They know how to make some good stuff. Alright, this is another picture of it in there. Now, this is the exact way it goes together. It's not rocket science. It's the easiest damn thing on the known planet, but people are afraid of it. What we have, like I told you, there were 3 washers. Okay? There is a steel washer right here. This piece right here, the main shaft that goes to the wheel, all you do is press it in. After you have this in, then we put on the steel washer here, stainless steel. Then we go over here and we put on the little dink ass Mickey Mouse Teflon washer. Then we push the washer into place here and here with your little fingers. And I believe the third washer, I can't remember, the third washer goes underneath here, right here. So you have a washer underneath there and then this, and that gives you your 3 washers so we know where they went. Fuck. Now, after you get these washers in like you want them, I mean these gears in like you want them, then all you have to do is get your front case piece with your clutch shaft sticking out of it. Your clutch shaft will go right here. You just nice and easily put your new gasket on here. Use a little of, I use my gray Moto Seal, and I put the Moto Seal on here. And remember, there's no oil or anything in here. I put the gasket has a weird flap that fits right here, and if you go straight up, it fits right here, and it covers a lot of this stuff, and some of it doesn't cover. It's just really strange. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted, the next thing we do is we take, and I take a little bit of alcohol and I go along this edge, and I go along the edge of the outer case. And you have to remember there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 bolts that go through here. Now, I want to explain something. I believe that 4 of them are the same size and 1 of them is a little shorter. So you've got to find out which one is shorter. That's just from me doing it. Then what I do is I put the case cover back on, and you can take your hand on the other side where the wheel attaches and spin this a little bit in order to get the teeth to line up with the gearing. Then all you have to do is tighten your nuts down, and then take off the little fill screw that's right about here on the outside. Fill it up with oil. A good way to fill it up with oil, what I found, is take a clear tubing that will fit in a 10mm hole, whatever the hole is. You take a clear tubing that's about, I don't know, 3-4 feet long, a meter long. Okay, put the first part in the oil, whatever oil you're going to use, 1040, and then suck up a foot or 2 of oil in the clear tube, and then take the tube and stick it in the hole and then blow on it. And that'll blow all the oil in there, and you keep repeating the process until the oil starts to drip out. And as it drips out, then you put the plug in there and away you go. But you cannot build a stroker motor without stroker gears, and that's how you do it. It's extremely simple. And now we're going to get on to other trickier parts.